I want to have a conversation, and please stick with me because this conversation is going somewhere. I remember talking to my mom back when she was still alive, and I asked her the question, when is a black life valuable? Is it more valuable when they're killed by a black person, or is it more valuable when they're killed by a white police officer or a white person? And my mom said, it's a life. Any life that's lost is a loss. They're valuable regardless of who killed them. And I agree with that. But it seemed like in the black community, they only get upset when a black person is killed by either a white person or a white police officer. And then they, want to protest. They want to have all this stuff going on when that energy should be the same when an innocent person is getting killed, regardless of who the killer is. The other thing that I want to mention is when COVID happened and then everyone was able to get out, everything opened back up and everyone was able to get out. And then once again, talking to my mom, looking at how people was running around, just running into stores, stealing handbags, stealing all this stuff, and nobody did anything. And even if the police came and arrested them, they got right back out. And I told my mom I would not want to live in a state where there is no policing. I don't want to be in a place where crime is happening and I can't depend on calling the police to come and help or to come rectify the situation. But in some of these states, they allowed that to happen. And a lot of times when you see the videos, I'm not saying it was only black people, but a lot of times when you see the video, it was black people running up into these stores, stealing clothes, stealing electronics, stealing, expensive handbags, expensive, colognes and everything. They were showing a lot of black people doing that. And then the police got to the point where it's like, what's the point of arresting them because they're going to only get back out? They showed them, robbing just everyday citizens. And so the point I'm trying to make with this conversation is sometimes you allow people to set you up for a downfall. And I feel that is what happened with the black community. They were so vexed on listening to the Democratic Party and making everything about race, when in reality, everything wasn't about race. I have said, and I will continue to say, there's only two sides. There's God's side and everyone else's side. There's good and there's evil in this world. And I side with God and I side against evil, regardless of who the evil is coming from. I want to share an article with you. I'm going to read an article to you. I'm not going to read the full thing. The disturbing trend by states towards allowing illegal aliens to become law enforcement officers have continued this legislative season. While it is not surprising that open border states like California, Colorado, and Illinois have passed laws to permit illegal aliens to become law enforcement officers, it is not reserved to them alone. Both the Virginia and Wisconsin legislators are considering bills this season that would negate the U.S. citizenship requirements to become a law enforcement officer. In Virginia, Senator Jeremy McPike D. Woodbridge has introduced Sanction Bill SB 69 Senate Bill SB 69, which allows deferred action for children arrival DACA beneficiaries to become police officers, including positions such as chief of police, deputy sheriff, and jail officers. Under current laws, only U.S. citizens are eligible to become police officers. Since the legislature convened in January, SB 69 has been moved quickly. The Senate voted 21 to 18 to pass the bill on February 13. The House Public Safety Committee has also passed SB 69, and the legislation appears poised to reach the floor of the Virginia General Assembly. Senator Senator McPike explained why he introduced SB 69 via X, formerly Twitter, stating kids who have always dreamed of becoming a police officer should have the chance to do so. Senator McPike is fortunate to have the support of William County Police Chief Peter Newsham. Chief Newsham voiced his support for SB 69, claiming it is fundamentally unfair for people brought here as children to be excluded from becoming a police officer, he said. For them not to be able to do that is an injustice. While Senator McPike and Chief Newsham appear sympathetic to DACA recipients, they seem perfectly comfortable creating a sanction in which illegal aliens can enforce U.S. laws, and in doing so can arrest and take into custody U.S. citizens and legal permitted residents. Furthermore, neither has fully explained how DACA beneficiaries can serve as police officers when federal law generally bars illegal aliens from possessing firearms. For Black people, especially the Black people who support Kamala Harris, and especially for the Black men who's telling other Black men they need to support Kamala Harris and they need to protect Black women, and they make it seem like they need to protect Black women from white men. They look at Black people as being ignorant, as being criminals, and they show that on TV with all these Black people running into stores. They show the ignorance of Black people when it comes to killing. Yes, it's okay to kill our own people, but we want to put value on their life once a white police officer kill them. So now, okay, if they take the police officers out of the white police officer, they take them out of the picture. Now y'all are going to be policed by immigrants. How do that sound? Someone that came into this country illegally, because what you have to think about, like I said, I'm in Florida. Florida is a police state. Ron DeSantis has put laws in effect that protects its citizens against illegal aliens and have illegal aliens bust to Florida, have them be able to get ID and different things like that. He put laws in effect to protect his citizens. But in these other states where there is no law, where there's lawlessness, where they defunded the police, where you think these illegal immigrants are going to be policing, now that they're going to be able to be police officers, who you think they're going to be policing? What states do you think they're going to be in? These states that don't want laws, these states that feel like they're trying to trick y'all Black people into thinking the Democratic Party is on your side. So now someone that came across the border illegally is going to sit there and tell you, a United States citizen, that you're breaking the law. How do that sound? Honestly, how do that sound? If I came across the border illegally, the last thing I want to do is be a police officer, because how can I honestly look at someone and say you're breaking the law when I know I got into the state by breaking the law? So why would an illegal alien would even apply to be a police officer, even if that was possible? They're changing laws. The Democrats are changing laws to put y'all in a situation where now, and not just Black people, but white people as well, that's in these states that feel like the Democrat is the be all, the best thing since sliced bread. Y'all are now going to be policed by immigrants if they have their way. If they allow these laws to be put in place, if they allow these laws to be changed, y'all are now going to be policed by people who came into this country illegally. Y'all going to be sitting there and told, Y'all can do, you're give me your license. You're driving your car, without license. Your tag is expired. You're breaking the law. But they broke the law to get here. And then when in that article I read how that, I forgot the governor, mayor, whoever he was saying it's unlawful that these people cannot be law-abiding citizens and apply to be a, how can you sit there and say someone broke the law and it's unlawful to uphold the law by saying they can't be police officers? They should not be in this country. Kamala did what she was supposed to do and took care of the border issue. These people would not be in this country. Now, not only are they taking the resources from American citizens, taxpayers, they're getting homes, if a person can get more by renting to a immigrant than by renting to a U.S. citizen, they're going to choose the immigrant over the U.S. citizen because they know they can get away with not fixing the apartments up or not fixing the home up like they should, because the immigrants are not going to complain because they're just going to be happy they're here. And so they're going to take advantage of that, but then they're going to put them in charge of policing. They want them to police. They want them to, basically, they're giving them everything. They're turning this into a third world country. And then they're also giving immigrants more rights than U.S. citizens. I want to read 1 Peter 5, 8 through 9. ESV. Be sober-minded, be watchful. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour. Resist him firm in your faith, knowing that the same kind of suffering are being experienced by your brotherhood throughout the world. Every time a warning goes out about, look what the Democrats are doing, they're going against God when it comes to what is a woman. I am not a cis woman. I am a God-fearing woman. I am a woman that God made. Don't redefine what womanhood is, because there is no redefining womanhood. Everyone was saying it's evil what Democrats are doing by pushing the agenda on kids that they can change their gender. It's evil that the Democrats believe in full-term abortion, that at 9 months a person can decide, I no longer want this child. Let me terminate my pregnancy at 9 months. It's evil how the Democrat is always stirring up controversy. They are always creating problems, just like with the virus. They lied about it being gain of function. They lied that it came from China. They lied that Fauci had anything to do with it, that he was part of the situation. They suppressed information from getting out. They wanted to victimize people because a lot of Christians said they did not want to take the vaccine because they used children's stem cells, baby stem cells, in figuring out the formula in some of the medication. Not all, but I think it was in one of them, that's what they use as part of the formula for that vaccine. But they wanted to say Christians was evil. They wanted to fire people from the military because they did not want to take vaccine. They wanted to fire people from the police department. That's why DeSantis offered a lot of New York police officers to come down to Florida, because he was like, I'm not going to fire you. I'm going to allow you to be a police officer. I'm going to allow you to do your job. But New York did not want that. And some other countries, some other states did not want that. They're willing to fire medical people, nurses who did not want to take the vaccine. They didn't care about giving it to children, knowing that some of these children experienced heart issue after taking the vaccine. Everything was done underhandedly. Everything was done evil, as an evil plot. And so God constantly warned his people about being sober-minded, being watchful. Look at what is going on. Why would it be okay to not have law and order in the city that you live in the town that you live in the country that you live in? Why would you want to be somewhere where there is not law and order? That's not a safe environment for people, for children, for anyone. But that's what people wanted. That's what they got. But now they're flipping it on you. Sometimes you train your replacement. And that's what people need to understand. A lot of people have been training their replacement. Just like if there's no more Black community because it's been taken over by other people coming into this country illegally, who or why will we need Black leadership? That's what they're not thinking of. You're training your replacement.